Does Godzilla really exist? This is the closest animal to it. Here is why marine iguanas are the real-life Godzilla. Let's dive right in. Marine iguanas are a bit infamous, and they didn't originally have a lot of fans. In fact, when Charles Darwin described him, words like disgusting, clumsy lizards and hideous-looking were thrown around. However, it turns out that marine iguanas are one of the most hardcore creatures of all time. You can find these majestic, fascinating, Godzilla-like lizards in the Galapagos Islands, some 900 kilometers from the coast of Ecuador. The theory is that millions of years ago, land-dwelling iguanas drifted from South America and landed there. Anything that might have prompted Charles Darwin to describe them as he did end up being the reason why they have survived for so long and so uniquely, and how they turned out to be the only seagoing lizard in the world. Godzilla, the legend itself, was actually based on these creatures, and it's no wonder. A marine iguana makes for a fierce sight, with sharp features, laser-focused eyes, and spiky dorsal scales. Any other animal on the Galapagos Islands would have cowered in fear when seeing one. If it weren't for the fact that these fearsome-looking Godzillas are actually herbivores, and they're some of the most gentle creatures in the world. Their diet consists of seaweed and algae. When the occasion calls for it, if they're hungry, they might resort to eating the plants that grow on land and on some crustaceans. But algae is usually the goal. They're made for it. Marine iguanas sometimes find themselves stuck between a rock and a hard place. Food is scarce on land. With the other option being starving, some of the larger, bravest iguanas make this choice. They venture out and hurl themselves into the ocean, where, hopefully, plenty of underwater algae will be waiting. It's a harrowing journey, and it requires skills, concentration, and attributes only Galapagos Islands marine iguanas have. Check this out. You look at them and start to think that maybe Darwin had a point. They do look like they might be clumsy lizards. However, those flattened tails you see, it allows them to move through the treacherous waters as swiftly as a crocodile. The face people call smushed in, everything from their pointy teeth and blunt snouts works to help them reach and grate algae off the rocks. Their skin? This is the skin of a survivor. Its color is adapted to absorb sunlight after their eventual emergence from their swim, and hidden are the glands that cleanse their blood of extra salt. Razor-sharp claws are there to both help them hold onto rocks on the shore and deep underwater when there are heavy currents. Are you still there? Hit that like button and help my channel grow. Let's circle back to the cleanse their blood of extra salt thing. What does that mean? Marine iguanas' extreme environment leads them to brave the underwater to feed, and as a consequence, they swallow dramatic amounts of salt water. That poses a problem, dehydration, so they'll need to somehow expel the salt without expelling the water. These special glands they have do exactly just that. They remove salt from their blood, with the method, interestingly enough, being sneezing it out. When the food is still scarce, Godzilla-level survival skills rear their heads. In an unexpected plot twist, marine iguanas can legitimately shrink their bodies to survive a little longer. The smaller an iguana is, the less food it needs, and the more energy it has. They shrink in length and in size, sometimes as much as 20%. This occurs when the water gets warmer, and the red and green algae that marine iguanas feed on are gone. Brown algae take their place, which is indigestible to them or toxic at worst. Once food is available again, they put the weight on again. The marine iguanas that shrink have the longest lifespans because the larger ones are more at risk. Females shrink more than the males. Not convinced yet marine iguanas can tackle any hurdle nature can throw at them? This is how enduring they can be. Once they make that daunting, blind leap to the water in a desperate search for food, they can spend up to 30 minutes submerged. The dive itself can be over 65 feet or 20 meters underwater. Master swimmers, even Charles Darwin conceded that marine iguanas swim quickly and with much elegance, with their flattened tails and eel-like or crocodile-like motions providing extra propulsion. Their true home is on land, though, which is where they nest and mate. They're exothermic, which means it's detrimental for them to stay too long in cool water. They trudge back into the sun and soak in it to raise back their temperatures. Their average lifespan is shocking. A marine iguana can live for up to 12 years on average, but some can survive for as long as 60 years.
Check out this video. It's specially selected for you. You'll like it.